All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference for the 19th September show at York Hall and Bethnal Green, Bombs Away, promoted by Kevin Campion for Goodwin Boxing. Really excited about this show. When Steve first named this show Bombs Away, I thought, that's a pretty good name for a show. And now I look at these guys up here, and I get it, Bombs Away, because there's some heavy hitters sitting at this table, so this should be a really, really good press conference. So I will turn it over to Steve and Kevin, and they'll make introductions, and then I'll come back to the guys for questions.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming to York Park Hotel this evening for, as Brett said, the press conference for my show, the 19th of September at York Hall, Bombs Away. I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to hand over to Steve in a second next to me, who manages most of the fighters, or some of the fighters that's on the show, and I'll let him do the introduction. Tickets are still available for the 19th of September. All tickets are still available. I'm very pleased to have such an array of talent on a show we put together, working with Steve. You know, we've got obviously a great top of the bill in Johnny Garton and Martin Welsh. Unfortunately, both couldn't be here. But I'm going to turn it over to Steve to introduce the guys on the table and give you a rundown of who's here.
Cheers, Kev. Yeah, obviously Johnny Garton, Martin Welsh for the final eliminator for the English welterweight title heads the bill. But it's not just all about the one fight. There's some great fights on there. And what I'll do is introduce everybody from right to left. Sitting at the end is the maestro of Portsmouth boxing, Michael Bellingham. He's really helped develop Portsmouth, and he's signing more boxers down there, and we're looking forward to working with him in Portsmouth for many years to come. Michael's got an array of talent, including Floyd Moore, who next fights for the Southern Area title, and sitting next to him is one of his top prospects, Ryan Davies, lightweight, undefeated. Ryan's just having a keep busy fight on the 19th card. He takes on Danny Parsons, who is anything but a keep busy fight, because Danny's comes from the unlicensed scene. He's one of these guys that isn't used to losing, so he will be coming to have a real go with Ryan, and I think that could be a cracking fight. So hopefully plenty of people come down from Portsmouth to support Ryan, because whilst it's keep busy, he's not taking a gimme, that's for sure. Next to Ryan is another trainer who we hold in high regard, Rod Julian of RJ's Gym. Rod's building up a great stable down in Chingford, and next to him he has one of his, probably his leading, one of the leading, if not his leading prospect. Rod's building up a great stable. He has a great relationship with his boxers, and they've really got a good team down there. Next to him is somebody who I'm absolutely delighted to see back in the ring. He's gone through hell and back, firstly to get his professional licence, and then after he looked very impressive, beating Zoran Svek on his debut, and not many people take on Zoran Svek on their debut. He suffered an illness that kept him out of the ring for an awful long time, and I'm no more delighted. Nothing will give me more great pleasure on the night to see Mustard Mike back in the ring. Mike is without doubt one of the UK's, in my opinion, greatest talents. He has not even had an amateur fight, and yet he looks like somebody who's already had about 50 amateurs and 10 pro fights. So we'll be looking to move him on quite quickly over the next 2 years, and I think great things can be expected. Thank you. Next to Mike is Jack Green. Now firstly, Jack and Darren are both here. It took them 5 hours today to get to the press conference, and they deserve everything that they can for making that effort, and I'm really, really grateful that they've come down. Especially as Jack, who is probably one of the coast's best trainers, has got Jamie Spate fighting for the English title at Leeds on Saturday. Jamie I also manage, and obviously we'll be keeping our fingers and everything crossed that Jamie and Jack can pull it off on Saturday, but Jack deserves every success he can possibly get. Next to Jack is Darren Townley, who makes his debut, and I'm absolutely delighted that Darren signed with us. We're going to really help him build up, and hopefully the plan will be to bring really good big time boxing back to their area in Devon. It's going to take a bit of time, like it does in most areas, but we've got Jamie, we've got Darren and a few more, but we're hoping to see Darren put on a really good performance on the 19th of September, and I'm sure he will. Everybody knows who Kevin is, so we'll move on swiftly. Chris Evangelou. Chris is without doubt a welterweight that's got still massive potential to fulfil. As an amateur, he was a really superb amateur, and I'm sure even Chris will agree that as a professional, he's yet to show what he's capable of. He's coming back after injury, and he's fighting Stanislav Ninkov, who's a very tough Bulgarian in this fight. But within 12 months, I'm sure we'll see Chris heading and winning major titles. Next to Chris is his father and manager, Costas Evangelou, and I want to say before I start that Costas is one of the nicest people in boxing and a real pleasure and honour to deal with, and I'm so grateful that he puts his boxers in our shows. They are lovely people. He's also not only a nice person but a good manager and looking after his sons. Who else would be better to look after them, and he does a great job and he's a great dad to them. So everyone from Costas, K Prosper. Not many people really have heard of him and they should have done by now. K Prosper is without a shadow of a doubt one of the UK's brightest talents, and it's probably a sin that he's not already a TV star. But that's how life is, and we're delighted to have Kay on our show on the 19th of September. Next to Kay, Terry Stewart. Anybody that's watched James DeGale's career would know Terry. He works with Jim McDonnell with James DeGale, and I'm hoping that over the next few years Terry will become a big name in his own right as a trainer of many boxers. He's a trainer that we definitely will be helping and supporting. Moving on from Terry, the General. Ajit Sharif, this man has balls of steel. I had the pleasure of having dinner with Ajit and his trainer Andy Edge last week, and we discussed Ajit's career so far. He went to 3-0 very quickly before taking on the Latvian giant, and he came unstuck. And Ajit came to my office and said, I want a rematch, I can't let it go on that. And despite the fact that we all know that rematches normally end up 90% of the time the same way as the first match, he wanted to do that, and he did it. Unfortunately, just one box. Sometimes in boxing, one guy has your number, that guy had Judge's number, but that's still not going to stop Ajit reaching his potential. Plenty of boxers losing their early careers and come back. Ajit's one of them, and I've no doubt, and I've pretty much guaranteed as long as he keeps winning, within 18 months he'll be right up there competing because he has the power and the attributes to do that. Finally, next to Ajit, got Max Lovell. I thought he looked very good in his debut against Kevin McCauley. He's 1-0. He's one of these up-and-coming talents, and I think we're going to see Max improve massively. He comes from a different seal of the fight business before he came into professional boxing, but I thought he showed so much against McCauley, and I think there's no doubt that we're going to be seeing Max develop. Obviously, he's only 1-0, so you can't make too many claims over the next 12 months, but I'm sure he's got a great manager in Louis Lamura, and with that type of help, there's no doubt that he can reach the top as he develops through his boxing career. That's it, really. Back to Brett for questions.
We'll start with Michael. Turn that one off.
Turn the Michael first one. Make sure they're good ones.
Oh, yours are good ones. Karen says, Michael, bearing in mind your love for the ladies,
Oh, here we go.
are you an advocate of women's boxing?
Do you know what? This is the truth, yeah. Years ago, I used to watch women's boxing and I used to think the quality was pretty poor and that, and I was totally against it. Not against it, but I just wasn't really interested. But like as time's gone on, the quality of boxing, you can't really tell the difference anymore. You know, and there's some big names that go alongside like men's boxing as well now. So, yeah, I think it's a great thing in that, and yeah, nothing against it at all.
All right, and Lewis says, I saw you on the Goodwin trip to Turkey. Do you play an active role in training the boxers?
Is this about in Turkey?
Yeah.
Well, I was a little bit sort of I had a back problem, so I've done the best I could. I couldn't participate in the runs and anything like that, but in the gym and trying to keep law and order with some of the boxers, you know, yeah, I played an active role, yeah. Ask the boxers that.
Any questions for Michael from the audience? All right, we'll go over to Ryan Davies. All right, Ryan, Wayne says you're 6-0 with 3 KOs. When do you think you'll be ready for a title?
We just got to slowly build up, really. I've still got a lot of learning to do as well, so I'm not really in any rush. So yeah, whenever it happens, it happens.
And good follow-up to that, Chris says, you're in a tough division with a lot of good boys about. How far do you think you'll realistically be able to go?
I don't really know the answer to that until just keep progressing along. I'll go as far as my talent will take me, really. Better to work hard at it, so we'll see.
Any questions for Ryan from the audience? Okay, move over to Rod. It says this from Laura, but I reckon you wrote this yourself, Rod. It says, after seeing you on previous press conferences, it's clear that you haven't boxed because of your good looks. So, how can you train?
Sorry, go on.
So how can you train professional if you haven't boxed before?
Well, that's a good question. At the end of the day, you can go and put that question out all over the world. Angelo Dundee, Virgil Hunter, Teddy Atlas didn't really do anything. I can go on and on and on, but my insight and my aspirations for boxing is proving positive now. I mean, look down my camp, from Mustard Mike here, to Sahel Hamid, training Michael Devine, Brady O2, next Saturday with Tommy Martin. So I don't suppose I'm doing too bad. I suppose I know what I'm doing a little bit, but obviously if you go through, there's probably 7, 8, 10 coaches in the world that have never boxed, and probably the best coaches of all time. So that's a blunt answer for that person, yeah. Bam.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think you've got a great camp and doing fantastic things with these guys. So Adam says, I've heard that you think Mustard Mike's going to be a world champion. How can you make such crazy comments for a lad who's never had an amateur fight?
We will soon see on the 19th. I mean, this kid's very special. Every now and again, someone special comes into your gym, into your life, and you won't believe this kid has not really had much. He was best of a gift. We trained with Roy Jones Jr. as well. Roy Jones Jr. is a big fan of Mustard Mike. Why would he like him? Why would he praise him if that's not the point? I've just come back from training with Kell Brook and Kid Galahad, so that's something that novice coaches don't normally do, innit? And I do that on quite a regular basis now. So obviously training with these guys, I'm obviously training with world champions now, working alongside a lot of good people. So like I say, they all believe in him. Kell Brook's a big believer in Mustard Mike, Roy Jones Jr. I can go on and on. You question these world champions, these legends. So every now and again you'll see on the 19th what he's all about. But like I say, they're getting the best opportunities they can in life. I'm making sure they get them. I'm probably making bigger progress than some other known so-called coaches, you know what I mean? But I'm not big-headed, I'm still learning. And I'm still learning, and I'll never stop learning. And that's what makes me who I am.
Awesome. Any questions from the audience for Rob? Okay, we'll move over to Mr. All Day Long.
All day long.
That's right. All right, Mustard Mike. Joe says, Mustard, where have you been?
I've been training hard, been working hard, studying. Yeah, I'm back now, so just looking forward to the 19th. Is that on? There you go.
And Carl says, I saw Roy Jones Jr. give you a shout out on a video on Facebook. What's your relationship with him?
Roy is just a very good friend of mine. He's always on the phone whenever I need to have a chat with him, catch up, or any advice. You know, I'm just blessed and happy to have someone like that around me, along with Arj, Mickey Cunningham. Just great people, and you can only get great results from being around such great people. He's someone I aspire to be like, not aspire to be. I can only be Mustard Mike, I'm not no Roy Jones Jr. But he's the man.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to your fight on the 19th. Can't wait to see you back in action. Any questions for Mustard Mike from the audience? All right, we'll move over to Jack. All right, Jack, you train Jamie Spate as well as Darren Townley. Jamie fights for the English title soon. How do you rate his chances from Paul Kelly?
Providing the training camp that we've done over the last 8 weeks, we're definitely going to Leeds on Saturday to win the English title. Coming off the back of a great win against Ian Bailey, who's highly underrated in my opinion. You give Ian Bailey 10 weeks notice, he's a completely different fighter. I'm sure many will agree. But 100% we are confident coming back Saturday evening and giving the Goodwin team first English title to bring to their promotion and team. So yes, I have every confidence.
All right, Keith says, tell us about the fighters that you have in your stable, and are you looking for more pros at the moment?
To be honest, at the moment, I want to give my 100% effort to Darren and Jamie. Jamie being at a good level now is very time consuming for both, and I'll give all I can give as they give me. Many people will tell you Jamie's one of the hardest working in the game. Darren's had to join in and up the level and train alongside him. Being from the southwest, obviously pro boxing is non-existent if we're honest, but being given the opportunity from the Goodwin boxing team, I'm able to give Darren the opportunities to learn his trade as a professional, and we're already at a very good level with Jamie and giving him an opportunity to fight for the English title on such a big show, and we will be bringing home that title.
All right, any questions from the audience for Jack? All right, let's move on to Darren. Philip says, Darren, you're known as the Terminator. Can you tell us why and how you got that nickname?
Well, it's just actually a couple of guys from the gym started calling me it because after a few amateur fights I stopped about, I think, quite a few of my amateur contests, so I think it's just from that really.
And Jeff says you're from Torquay. Boxing started to come alive down there a bit now. What do you put this down to?
Jamie started doing really well, and we've had a few guys turn over down there now, so I think boxing's starting to come alive down our way a bit now, so hopefully we can do a bit more and improve it even more. So.
Any questions from the audience for Darren?
Yeah. So Darren, you've now sparred 3 different world champions. What kind of confidence does that give you going into your pro debut?
Yeah, it gives me massive confidence, to be honest. I mean, because only last week we were sparring with Lee Selby, and I mean, you can't really ask for much better sparring than that, so it's going to give me a lot of confidence going in on the 19th, yeah.
Any other questions for Darren? We'll move on to Steve. We've got some questions for you too. Aaron says, you seem to be progressing your boxers at a quick rate with 10 boxers fighting in title fights soon. Tell us a bit more about that.
That's quite interesting. You must be telepathic because it was 9 until an hour ago. I've just got Wadi Camacho approved. He's only just signed with us 3 weeks ago. He now gets a Southern Area title shot. So I think we make things happen for people. I put it down to hard work. We've got a great team, and we work really hard at creating opportunities. For a non-TV promoter now to have 10 fighters in 8 weeks competing in major title fights is pretty much unheard of, I think, in the UK. We've got Johnny Garton on the 19th in an English title final eliminator against Martin Welsh. Then in the October show, we've got Floyd Moore in the Southern Area title. We've got Leon McKenzie fighting John McCallum in an eliminator for the British super middleweight title, and that's going to be a fight everybody's going to want to watch. That's going to be electric because Scotland are coming down in force, and Leon's got a massive fan base, as we know, so that's going to be an electric fight. We've got the Matty Askin Lawrence Bennett English cruiserweight title, and I'm delighted to have given Lawrence the opportunity against a Frank Warren fighter on home ground. So when was the last time that a Frank Warren fighter fought as an away fighter on a non-TV show? And we won the purse bid, so I'm delighted that we've been able to secure that for Lawrence. We've also got Joe Mullender in an English title eliminator against Ben Davies. This is something we promised for Joe 6 months ago, that we'd deliver something like this for him, and this is his door opener. So I think he's extremely excited to be doing that. We've also got another Southern Area title on that show as well. We've got Floyd Moore. Did I mention Floyd? Chris Adjadua. Yeah, we've got Chris Adjadua, the rematch against Freddie Turner. Chris, this is his 4th attempt at a Southern Area title. When I took him on, I said I'd create the opportunities. This is his 4th one. We're running out, so he's got to try and do it this time. But again, it's another fighter that we kept our word and delivered the opportunity. We've got then John O'Donnell, who just recently again signed, and I got him a British title eliminator within a month of him signing with us against Dale Evans. And again, we've secured home advantage with the purse bid. I mean, we're talking about a non-TV promotional outfit securing all the home advantages here. So we're delighted with that. And then we've got Wadi Camacho, Southern Area title today. So it's just, it's hard work, but the reason all these boxers want to sign is we don't just talk. We walk the walk, we don't just talk. And we'll continue to do that. So we'll deliver. And that's what we've done, is having a great team that gives us the time to do that.
Right, and Steve Harrow says, I hear you're having a party to celebrate 5 years in boxing. Why aren't I invited?
Probably because he doesn't have a season ticket, or he's not one of our boxers or friends. So if he wants to come, spend £199 on a season ticket and he can get an invite.
There you go. All right, any questions for Steve from the audience? All right, we'll move over to Kevin. So Kevin Helen says, I think I'm right in saying it's a year since you joined the Goodwin team. Tell us about that year and about the progression of the year.
Yeah, it's been just over a year since I've come to work for Steve. I moved from Essex up to Leighton Buzzard, just up the road. I moved my family here to work with Steve. It was a great opportunity. The year's been fantastic. I've been in a very fortunate position where, I was given this opportunity to come and do this. Start a promotional outfit in my own right, work along Steve with his promotional company, as well as working with Josh and Olivia alongside their promotional company. So I've been very lucky to come in at the right time. Also, I managed to come in at the time where Steve was gaining momentum in terms of signing management. That made it easier for me to put on shows as working in conjunction with him. So if you look at what's happened over the 12 months since I've been here, that's not down to the fact that I've been here. It's because I came in at the right time. Goodwin Promotions and the other outlets have been doing bigger and better, and I've managed to join along that. So it's been a great year. We'll continue to grow from strength to strength, I'm sure. So it's been a good year, and hopefully looking forward to many more.
And Jason says you had no experience of matchmaking before you joined the Goodwin. So how on earth can you do a good job with such little experience?
That's a really good question. And I get a spicy one, that's good. It's a fair question. I didn't have any experience matchmaking before coming to Steve. I go down as the matchmaker. I'm the licensed matchmaker in terms of, if you look on BoxRec, I'm there. But we do it together as a team. If you get a promoter's license, you automatically get a matchmaker's license as well. So Steve's been matching shows for years, for 5 years that he's been doing it. Josh has been matching shows as well as Olivia. So although I go down as the matchmaker, it's not all done by me. It's all done together. The three of us, sit and discuss every fight and talk it. I get the grief if it goes wrong, but it's not always. It does as a team. Three heads are always better than one. So yeah, it's a fair question. But the only way you get experience of anything is to be able to do it. And I've been given the opportunity to do it. But I'm not just sailing out there on my own. I'm surrounded by experienced people, and I bring my own part to it as well. I know boxing. I was a coach before I'm still a coach now, but before getting a real job, I would say. you know, so I've been around boxing a long time. I know the ins and outs of it. So you know, but I'm just lucky to have other people around me to bounce ideas off and talk the fights through. So thanks for that spicy question.
Any other questions for Kevin? All right, over to Chris. Chris, Sean says, you've been out of the ring for nearly a year now. Some people had said you had retired. Why the inactivity?
When you have a broken hand, it makes it a little bit hard to have a fight. Unless you actually break your hand in the fight, and then you've got no choice but to fight, like I did in my last fight, and win. But at the end of the day, you know, everyone sort of... I've been an active boxer for quite a few years now, and yeah, it's true, I've been inactive, but yeah, it's all down to having a broken hand, really. But I have tried, you know, I went to Vegas and sparred, but sparring with 16-ounce gloves on and fighting with 8-ounce gloves on are two different things. So that's the short answer to that.
All right, fair enough. And Gary says, you take on a tough lad in your next fight in Stanislav Nenkov. Are you at the stage of your career now where you need to step up and need these tests?
Yeah, I mean, in every boxer's career, you're sort of, it's all about levels in this game. And, you know, when you're having your debut, you're fighting a certain pool of people. When you're sort of getting past your novice, you're earning your badges as a boxer. This is, you know, this is a sport where it's, you're on your own in the ring, and any boxer here can tell you, you know, your coach is there with you, your family's there supporting you, but you're the only one in the ring. So you need these tests at certain levels of your career. You can't, this isn't a sprint to having a world title fight. You've got to earn your place to get there. And with the right matchmaking, the right management, and the right promoting, you know, God willing, you know, us boxers, we can have the opportunity at the world titles. But yeah, you do need these tests, and having tough fights makes you a tougher fighter. So, you know, it's all about experience.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Any other questions in the room for Chris? All right, move on to Costas. Just one for you, and it's a bit a bit spicy, as Kevin says. So Peter says, Costas, your boys were previously signed with Frank Warren and Matchroom. Isn't this a big come down working with the Goodwins?
Interesting question. Thank you. Well, it's a difficult question. So, can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you. No. Life is a journey. So every opportunity, you know, we take with both hands, and there's no come down, because we have a destiny, and there's different paths to get to fulfill your destiny, what you feel, your aim, your goals in life. And there's, for myself, on a personal note, Steve Goodwin is as good as any promotion in this country and in the world. He gives opportunities to boxers, the nicest people to work with, and he's given us opportunities, and the boys have moved on to win the international masters, both of them. And it's onwards and upwards. I don't see no negativity. It's only negativity. The mindset determines how you see things, and we don't see any negativity at all. Only positive, working with Steve Goodwin, Kevin, and all the team, Steve Goodwin, and also Don Charles, our coach. We have a good team now, and we're ready to take the world. And Christopher's ready. He hasn't shown his full potential, nor Andreas, and you're going to see a different Chris in the ring, because he was an excellent amateur boxer, national champion, 6 gold medals. He's fought the best boxers in the world. And the sky's the limit. And this next opponent for us, you know, is challenging. It's quite challenging. It seems to step up, but it's well within Chris's capability to have a victory and move on to greater things. So, and we want to thank the Steve Goodwin Promotions and everyone involved for allowing us the opportunity to work together. So thank you. I hope it answers the question.
Yeah, very good.
Can I?
Yeah.
I just want to say that after the last few fights that we've had with Goodwin, every one of our fans, every time they put on Facebook the next day, you know, congratulations for winning, and whatever they're going to say, they always say it is one of the best shows they've actually ever been to live, where the matchmaking is so good, the fights are fair, it's good entertainment, and they all say the same thing. It was a thing going on after every fight we've had, that every one of our fans and support has all said the same words. It was one of the best nights of boxing that they've been to. So I just want to say that's a, you know, to Steve and the team, you're doing a fantastic job here at Goodwin Promotions. So that's a little bit I wanted to say.
Good, I appreciate that. Of course, that's all down to the MC, right? No, I just comment, and I know I comment on this every time we have a press conference, but I work for a lot of promotions. And, I've worked for Matchroom, I've worked for lots of large promotions, and I agree with everything you're saying. It's so easy to come in and do my job for the Goodwin team, because everything's just exactly as it should be. This team does exactly what it says on the tin every time without fail, so yeah, I'm right with you. All right, moving on to Kay. Good lead into the next question. Nicholas says, you've got a good percentage of stoppages. Would you consider yourself more of a knockout artist than a boxer?
Not really. I know I pack a punch, but I think I'm a box fighter. I can adapt to different, whatever I've got to do, I can adapt in the ring. I'm a boxer that I think if I land my shots, they will go down, so I don't look for that. Me and my trainer, we work on different things. In a fight, I just want to do the rounds so I can test myself and prove that I can box all different styles, because I think I'm a very versatile fighter.
Any questions from the audience for Kay? All right, moving on to Terry. Brian's asking, Terry, can you tell us about your stable?
For the last 15 years, myself and Jim McDonald's been working together. We still are. We've got some really good fighters. We've got a few ABA champions coming through, Reece Bellotti, Jake Ball, of course we've got James DeGale, just won the world title. But what I want you to do within the two of us is start to bring people in that hasn't won ABA titles. And at the moment I've got Kay.
Okay, and Carl says, it appears from social media that you are now working closely with the Goodwin team. Is this so, and why?
Yes, I'm working closely with them. Kevin's a very good friend of mine. He came onto the promotional side. He has a few fighters that he wants to progress. We've always been talking, and I find it's a good chance for me and Kevin to work together and bring some good fighters on. And hopefully in the future, we'll find some good talent there.
Any questions from the audience for Terry? Over to the general. Ajay, where do you want to be in 2 years' time in your boxing career?
2 years' time. I have to come back from this now, so I have to build it as much as I can and hopefully have some titles. That's the main aim. Next year, year after that, just win as many titles as I can. So put my name up there.
And the next question from Cal says, how do you feel you can come back from 2 defeats in a row?
I'll come back. That's what I do, all aspects of life. You can't hold me back. I always come back, no matter what happens. Even amateur days, I lost one, I come back. In other categories and other ways of life as well, like I get knocked down, but I always come back. That's the way I am. And I can't wait to come back from this, so I just prove everyone and show everyone, That's good.
All right, any questions from the audience for Ajay? All right, over to Max. Peter says, how do you rate your professional debut?
I was quite happy with it. I didn't think I was 100%. But yeah, it's like good, I suppose.
Nice and close to you now. Keep it nice and close.
Yeah. All right, and Doug says, you're new to the pro scene, and there isn't much known about you. Tell us something about you that not many people know.
Well, I came from the Thai boxing scene, so I got to WBC British champion before turning pro. So I went from that into the white collar scene, had 11 fights, undefeated in that, then went straight to the pro scene.
Any questions from the audience for Max? All right, so really looking forward to this show. I think, there's so much talent on that table. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you guys keep doing it and just putting these matches together time and time again. So I am really looking forward to this show. Bombs away. Saturday, the 19th of September at York Hall in Bethnal Green. We hope to see everybody there. I think it's going to be a fantastic night. That concludes this press conference. Thank you very much for coming. Let's give all of our boxers a hand. It's a lot of work for them to come here. Really great to see you all.